Okay, welcome guys. So I'm Mo from Most English Hacks. Today I'm going to be having a conversation with my speaking partner, Carolyn. So Carolyn, could you introduce yourself a little bit?
All right. So, everyone, I'm teacher Carolyn, and I am a final year university student, but currently working as an English teacher, especially for the teenagers and the adults. And I've been working as an English teacher for over a year. And in the past, I also had some experience of tutoring the matriculation students.
Mm,
And so, yeah, nice to meet you
mm,
all.
okay, it sounds interesting. So how did you learn your English, Carolyn? Could you share a little bit?
Mhm. So I think so for me, like English has been my favorite subject since my state school years, and after the matriculation exam, I started my English learning journey by attending some English courses, and then after I joined my university, I think I kind of like I was kind of busy with my university studies, and so I didn't have enough time to to keep on studying English. And so in 2020, I think we had to stay at home, and due to the quarantine or stay at home period, I kind of had a lot of free time again, and so
Mm,
I started self studying like English again. And I during that time, I read a lot of books,
mm,
maybe like English novels, and also some interesting articles. Yeah, I had spent time a lot on like watching TV shows and English
yeah.
series. And I took up the habit of like listening to the podcast, English podcast. It is really like fun and interesting. I didn't know that listening to the podcast would be interesting, but some topics are really fun, and you might be really into it. Once you start listening to those topics, and so yeah, that's how I polish on my English skills again. And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, so
right.
I have to say that you and I sort of had like kind of the same way of learning English, except that I didn't take like any English courses. I kind of made a tremendous progress in self-studying English, just like what you did by,
Yeah.
watching movies, TV shows, listening to podcasts and stuff, because
Mhm.
entertainment is sort of like a significant
Mhm.
factor in like, bettering your English, like when you want to like get to an advanced level,
Yes, yes, I agree.
yeah, you're just gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to like, listen to how the conversational English works. And that's
Mm-hmm.
that's where the podcasts and watching English sitcoms comes in. It's really useful to have those kinds of habits in learning English. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah, I
um
agree.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I understand that you've been like teaching English for
Yes.
months now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you happen to like to take that path of teaching
Mm-hmm.
English?
Yeah. Mm. So actually I'm not from the teaching background, but I am really passionate about English, and I was having a lot of free time back then, and so I decided to maybe take a job and making good
Mm,
use of the those times. And so I started looking for the jobs, and then came across some of the vacancy for the English teachers. And then I just started, I decided to apply for it. And yeah, and that was, I think that was my very first job as as an English teacher, although I
mm,
had some experience of tutoring the matriculation students, like
mm.
for all six subjects. And so, but that during COVID period, I think the decision to apply for that job as an English teacher would be the very first journey, professionally as an English teacher.
Oh, okay. All right. So I also, for me, I also did a little bit of, part-time English teaching like months ago. So I understand that teaching is like the best form of learning, right? So was there like anything that you learned from your experience of teaching English like for over a year, or was there like any challenge that you want to share a little bit about?
So students have like different purposes for learning English, and so it can be a little bit challenging because we cannot use the same techniques for those students, since their purposes are different, and also their ages are like also kind of different, right? So because like I have taught from the young learners to adults. It can be quite challenging to handle all kinds of students, and so I started to attend more teaching professional courses, and that is why I'm currently pursuing TESOL, teaching English as a second language, so that I can I can get more knowledge about teaching methodologies, and to conduct more effective lessons, to deliver more like effective lesson plans to the students. And so yeah, I think the most important thing to do in the class is that you need to make sure that the students are engaged to the lesson, so that they have fun, and at the same time they can be interested in the lessons that they are learning. So, it can be a little bit tough, like for teachers to handle all different kinds of students.
Exactly. I mean, teaching can be like very stressful, right? I mean, especially when you have to like come up with a whole new content of your own to like teach to a bunch of children, which I find it really challenging to do, because as much as I love to share about my knowledge of learning English, I don't think I have like this natural passion for teaching English, because teaching requires you to be like patient, especially when you're teaching to kids, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about speaking. So English speaking, I guess because we both went through the same process of learning English, right? Like during our initial phase of like practicing your English, for me, I found it really hard to like get up the courage to do like public speaking or to speak English in front of people. That's just like I think the word that we're looking for is confidence. It's very hard to find confidence like during your initial phase of your learning journey. So is there like any tips or tricks that you want to share about how to like speak fluent English in the fastest and most efficient way possible, especially speaking? So
I think, I see. I think like, most of the students goal is to speak English fluently, rather than others case, like, among force case, I think students find speaking like most intimidating and bad. At the same time, I think it is the most used when, like in communication. I think you need to have enough confidence, like to speak fluently, especially in public speaking. But for I think for starters, they might not have enough knowledge about the vocabularies, or or the phrases to use in the daily conversation. But I think the most important thing is practice. Like first of all, of course, you need to like gain enough knowledge about the topics that you want to speak, and then you need to practice. If you are afraid of speaking in public, maybe you should try like speaking in front of mirror, and and then analyze like how you could do to improve more, something like that. And if you have a speaking partner, maybe like your friend, or maybe your family member, you could also practice together with him or her. I think it would be easier to do rather than speaking in public. So once you practice more, I think you might have finally gained enough confidence like to speak in public too.
Yeah, that's a really good. I mean, you should like first take baby steps to do like speaking, right? That's what I would suggest too. Like you should like speak to yourself first if you don't have like
Mhm.
enough
Yes.
courage to speak with other people, right?
Yeah. The other thing that students can do is that, they can also record their speaking with a phone or an electrical device, and then they can like, listen to the recording and and figure out it works or not. They can evaluate themselves, right? Because they can hear they are recording, they can hear they are speaking, and so yeah, that's also another thing that you can try it out.
Yeah, so monitoring your progress, right, is the best way to keep track of your learning. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Speaking, well, it's for me after high school, it's a skill that I really wanted to improve, like really bad that time. And so I just like dived into it after the matriculation exam, right? Because I had a lot of free time
Yeah.
that time. So yeah.
Yeah.
Very often I found myself like really stressed because I don't think like I'm making much of a progress in learning, right? I'm sure you also went through that, right? Because learning is never easy.
Yeah.
You have to like give your consistent
Yeah.
effort. Even if you give your consistent effort, sometimes you just don't think that you're making much progress, and that just stresses you out, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think
Yeah.
that we should cope with that kind of stress? Is there any way to fix that?
So I think to reduce those kinds of stressful situations, students might like, we need to create like, like fun environment for the students to be motivated, and to reduce their feeling of like, fear or stress about learning a language. So students should try like more fun activities, like maybe a conversation club, or some games, or like where they can speak English like freely, and so it's better for them to join those kinds of activities, to like to see that learning a language can be fun. So I think it might give some direction for the students to see learning a language from the different aspect, in a fun way.
Of course, I totally second that idea. I mean, finding fun in the process, right? That's what I'm going for in my page as well.
Yeah.
So, like
Yeah.
students, as a person who is still like learning English, I really think that finding fun is the best way to like keep on learning, because
Yeah.
a lot of times you just want to quit because it's so difficult, right? But when you're finding fun in the process, it just gives you impetus and a lot of motivation, right, to keep on going. And
Yeah.
that's really good.
Yes, not like learning a language is not confined to a classroom. Like you can also learn language in a way that you like. Maybe if you enjoy watching English TV shows or series, well, it is a good way to polish your skills, English skills, and you can improve your listening, and maybe like speaking skills. You can expand your vocabularies, by watching those kinds of English TV series.
Yeah, I mean, learning can be like many ways, right? Watching TV, listening to music, listening to podcasts, or just practicing your speaking with other people. A lot of ways that you can do this, right? So so if there's like an advice that I can give to you guys, right, to you guys about learning English, is that just do whatever you find fun, right? If you are a fan of like watching movies, just like I said, watch movies in English and like really concentrate on that. And also, if you like listening to music, listen to music and also sing along with it, to practice your pronunciation. That's also good. And to, just like you said, Carolyn, not confined to one classroom, so you can do whatever it is,
Of course.
that makes you like interested in the learning process. So it's
course.
these little things that pile up to make your English learning journey like a lot more fun, and a lot more efficient, and a lot more productive. So yeah. Okay, do you have any other thing that you can add on about this topic, Carolyn?
Yeah, I think we've covered like, you know, the overview of learning a language and also how to learn language in a fun and, you know, effective ways. And so I hope this video can help students who are currently learning English. For them, I hope this video would be useful, and also you might get like, you know, some tips you know, for to make your learning journey easier and productive and fun.
Yeah, I hope so too.